First and foremost, let's talk about the defense in general. Spring camp's over, 15 practices. Did you like did the unit as a whole get better, Dale?
Yeah, I think we learned how to work as a group, and I think we found some guys along the way that were a little bit of a surprise that we weren't sure where they were at, and they came along. But I think we did a good job of working on our culture. You're never where you want to be, but I feel good where we're coming out of spring.
How did Cromartie make the transition? Does it look like he's going to be a keeper at Raider?
Yeah, there's no doubt. He can be a really good Raider. The one thing he had never done is dropped, and we've dropped him a little bit, and he can run, and he's athletic.
You start to talk about Aleme at the nose guard.
Yeah, Aleme at nose guard. Again, I think we have 4 or 5 guys there that really showed a lot of stuff. Mike Flowers really did a nice job. Tolentino, he played some for us last year. He's still there, so I think that's a solid group.
With the defensive ends, I know Webb and Jarvis did not really practice, so that gave some other guys a chance. You see some ends emerge?
Yeah, I think Polk did some things. I don't want to say too many because there's 2 or 3 in there I think really came along. Corbin Hayward has a chance to be really good. Mm-hmm. Marcus has a chance. So, they're still young, still learning, but I like what they picked up as far as our culture, playing hard, playing tough, straining their bodies. I saw all of that out of them.
Who behind Cromartie is, because really that group of Raiders, no one has played. I know the one kid's a converted fullback.
Right.
Who else has shown something at that spot behind
There's
Cromartie?
3 or 4 guys there that are still being evaluated. They'll be evaluated coming into camp. No one's really moved ahead of the other one. That second spot I think's wide open. There's some bodies there. We just have to see which ones are going to work over the summer and come in and take it.
So Sullivan and Heflin didn't practice during the spring, which gave some other inside linebackers a chance. Let's talk about Griffin Baumoel. First of all, he wins the Admiral Mack Award. Do you feel that was a good choice?
No doubt about it. I think the way that we practiced this spring, where everybody got a fair amount of reps, helped us find some young guys. We were really young at that spot. Nobody but Heflin in the start of spring had ever really even practiced with the varsity guys. So, a bunch of guys got chances, and Griffin took advantage of every rep. Basically came out of nowhere and kind of proved himself.
What did he do was he hitting people or shed blocks?
He has a feel of finding the ball. Got off blocks, run to the ball. He's one of the few young guys that didn't have any hesitation about the culture as far as running to the ball and playing hard, and so that's probably what stuck out first, and then his play followed that.
And then last but not least, at the striker spot, Elon Nash, who's showing you something that's striking?
Elon Nash is a very solid player, does his job and does it the way you want him to do it. We're going to look at Falkman there. He got hurt, but when he comes back, we're going to look at him there. And then again, there's 2 or 3 guys there that we need to still evaluate coming into camp.
Well, Walter Little didn't practice, so he's
right.
A guy
He's out. He was kind of in that spot a little bit early last year, then got hurt, and is just barely coming back.
Right. So he's going to have to show you something in August.
Right. Yep.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
You're welcome.
Let's talk a little bit about last year, which scout team, pretty much.
Yeah, scout team started at the bottom of that chart. Didn't have a whole lot of opportunity, but just paid my dues. Played scout team.
And did you feel like you learned enough that coming into spring you knew what was going on? Did you get enough understanding of what goes on with the inside linebacker?
Yeah, just watch the seniors. I had great seniors to look up to, and Micah Thomas and a couple other guys. Just learning the basics. I'm not getting the reps, but make sure I get those mental reps so when I do get my opportunity, I'm ready to go.
Well, why don't you give us a wrap up of spring ball? Are you pleased?
Yeah, as pleased as I can be coming out of spring ball. We practiced 15 days, which was I've never really used all of our days, in a long time. So we used all 15 days. I thought our culture was taught. At the end of spring practice, I'm as happy as I could be. Doesn't mean anything wags, I don't know. You see what happens the next few months, how our guys work. But coming out of spring practice, really, really excited.
I was just talking to one of the O-reps who's been out the practice lot, and one of his comments was a lot more energy this spring. Is that by design?
I don't know. I mean, just
It just seems like you're really pushing the kids. You're not putting with any slacking off or anything.
And a big part of the spring has been our culture and trying to finish practice. We lost 6 games and a lot of them were late wags. We lost games late, couldn't finish. It's a big part. I mean, we're not far off, but losing by 1 point or by this much in a field goal or losing by 3 points is still a loss.
Right.
So we're just trying to find a way to finish practices, finish games, and hopefully it'll transfer over. But really pleased by our efforts, the way our coaches taught our culture, the way the players accepted it, the leaders of our seniors and captains. So, like I said, on April 20th, I'm excited, but we'll see how that plays out this one.
What about the leadership that your new captains, Sean Williams and Anthony Gargiulo, showed? This spring ball was their first on-field opportunity to lead their brothers. What was your thoughts on how they're doing?
Really excited about both of them. Sean and Anthony stepped up to the plate, take an active role in trying to, build the culture and build this team. Every team's different. Every year's different. Whether you win or lose, this is a different team. And I've been really excited the way they've embraced that role, and they've done some good things.
So Griffin Baumoel gets the Admiral Mack Award. Just in your view, what did he show you that led you to believe, or when you talked about it as a staff, that he was deserving?
Just production. Just in our scrimmages, he's a guy that stood out, made plays. You're always kind of getting, who's that? It was 83. Just made a ton of plays this spring. And we probably allow more guys to play than most teams.
Mm-hmm.
Like some teams, they only practice the top 2 guys, and you don't get live reps. But in our scrimmages, I mean, everybody was playing. And we allowed everybody an equal opportunity to show what you could do. And I think it just helped build the camaraderie. And maybe that's kind of the energy you saw. Because sometimes when you only play the top guys, the other guys that aren't playing, they're not engaged.
Right.
You know what I mean? They're like, oh, whatever, I'm not going to get in. But when everybody's playing, you got to be dialed in. I think it causes for a more focused practice. And he's just a guy that stood out, in all the scrimmages.
Would it be safe to say that Baumoel's not going to have to wear 83 next fall?
He already changed. When we were out there, he had a different number out there. He goes, man, you went to Admiral Mack and changed your number. But he's a humble kid. He's a good kid. And came out of nowhere. Came out of the pack. He was buried in the depth. And just, his results spoke for him.
Right.
And so that's what we want to make sure we did. Give people equal opportunity to go out there and show us what they could do. Because sometimes guys stick guys in the spring game and haven't practiced the whole spring, like, get out there and perform. I mean, that's bad coaching. I mean, how do you get a guy that hasn't done anything for a month and then you expect him to go out and do something?
Right.
Where we try to get guys in there, get some reps, show us what you can do throughout the totality of practice, and then we take the whole body of work and then we try to make an assessment.
When you talked about the Admiral Mack as a staff, were there other names that came up? I think you mentioned that nose guard, Alema, and who else might have?
Alema Kapoor is a guy that had a really good spring. Chris Gazelle is a guy that, did some good things. O.J. Davis, a guy that did some good things. There are other linebackers that did good, Pepe Tanubasa. There are a lot of guys at linebacker I thought did inside. Tyler Pastoro, Paul Carruthers stepped up and did some good things. Off the top of my head, I mean, just
that's good enough.
Kendall Wright.
Kendall Wright on the offense,
yeah,
right?
I thought it was a guy that did some good things. John Lee at B-back. So there are a number of guys that did some good things.
All right, thanks, Coach.